Hi everyone, Liz Treadwell here, and this is the second in a series of 5 screencasts that we are dedicating to our innovators. The first one briefly went over a method you can use to locate a crowdsourcing challenge or project to get involved in. This next one is going to walk you through all of the key areas on at least a HeroX challenge page that you should take into consideration before you decide to sign up and actually submit. So we decided, based on the title and kind of short description of this challenge, that we thought it'd be the most interesting for us to maybe sign up for. So when you come to a challenge page, there's obviously a lot of information here. And so what I typically recommend is that before you kind of dig down into the really nitty-gritty details at the bottom here with these different tabs, just take a look at the short description and see if it actually resonates with any experience that you have, or maybe make sure if it's your first crowdsourcing project you're participating in, maybe make sure it doesn't have too technical of requirements. Maybe it's a really easy kind of ideation challenge. This one in particular, the goal is to develop a groundbreaking and innovative solution to evaluate credibility, tools, and techniques. So we'll assume that's kind of our niche subject area, if you will. And so once you've decided that this is the right challenge for you, I recommend going down and reading the overview section first. Some of this information here might be, stuff that you already know if you're an expert in this area, but it can also give you some indication of, who the sponsor is, and also just some background on, why the challenge was put together, things like that. And then also, at the bottom of this overview tab, you can also view the legal agreement if you're kind of interested in, what the intellectual property structure is for the challenge, whether, you'll be able to keep the intellectual property that you submit, if you'll be, sharing some of it with the sponsor. That's always good to know before you actually sign up. So at least at HeroX, we put that kind of legal agreement right there so you can view it before you actually sign up. Next, I recommend taking a look at the guidelines. This will give you details on what the ask is. So that means, what they're wanting you to actually submit. It'll also give you a breakdown of what the prizes are. So if there's one prize, multiple prizes like this one, certain categories, and then, how much money is awarded for each prize. And then also another important thing is the judging criteria, or basically how each submission will be scored. So they'll be, either outlining the particular methodology they'll be using, if multiple judging panels or not, and then also what the actual scoring rubric looks like. So, what are the criteria they were looking for, and how are they weighting it? Is one more important than the others, or are they all the same? The next most important section I recommend viewing is the timeline. This will give you a breakdown of all of the events associated with a particular challenge. If you scroll to the towards the bottom at least, you'll see when it actually opened for submissions. And then the submission deadline will be towards the top. So you can see that right here. And then they'll also notate when it'll be awarded, when judging will occur, if there's a voting stage. You'll see all of that usually happen after the submission deadline. So obviously you want to take a look at the guidelines and then the timeline to gauge how much time you have left. If you're able to develop a solution with the time remaining in the till the deadline, that's really what you'll want to focus on first before you decide to sign up. Some additional sections on a challenge page that you might find helpful are the forum. This is where the sponsors will interact with users, where you can either ask questions, make requests, or even converse with other people who are signed up in the community. So this is a great place for all that to happen. Another section that you might find helpful is the FAQ, or frequently asked questions. If there's something that kind of pops up into your head, I'd recommend going to the FAQ section first before asking it in the forum. Some FAQ sections are more robust, like this one, than others, but definitely take a look at it if you see this section enabled, which it usually is across our challenges. Another section that we don't have here, but you may see on some of our other challenges, I'm just gonna flip over to our Alpha Pilot challenge here, is the resources. So some challenges may give you a sort of template to use. So they want you to actually fill out a certain template and upload that to your submission, or they might just provide helpful materials for you to actually develop your submission. So if you see this resources tab enabled, which it's not across all challenges, only certain ones that need it, but if you see it, I would definitely recommend clicking into it and seeing what's in here. You may also see in the guidelines something about needing to use a required template. So make sure that you read all of that very carefully before you decide to submit. So those are the key areas that you'll want to look for on each of our crowdsourcing challenge pages. The next video will show you how you actually sign up and gain access to the submission form.